What's up, everyone? Welcome to TrailerSpot, and today we will be talking about the best upcoming movies. Venom 3 is underway as Tom Hardy teases the script on social media, revealing the story is by him and Kelly Marcel, with the script written by Marcel, the writer of the first two movies. The image posted to Instagram features a doodle of Venom with the tongue becoming the 3. Some fans also think the red color and the S shape of the Venom tongue might mean Spider-Man will be a part of the flick, as Sony also owns Spider-Man, but the character has been on loan to Marvel as part of the MCU. Venom was at one time talked about appearing in Spider-Man No Way Home in the film's final battle, but since Eddie never met Spider-Man, it wouldn't make sense to bring him in using the spell. So instead, they included Venom in the post-credit scene that confirmed Tom Hardy's Venom is not a part of the MCU, with Eddie stating he didn't know the Avengers. During the promotion for Morbius, the director did confirm a version of Spider-Man exists in the same universe as Morbius and Venom, so maybe it's a different version than the Tom Holland version, which could be the version appearing in Venom 3 if that is the case. The movie's writers revealed the first Deadpool 3 story details and how it connects to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The popularity of Ryan Reynolds' Wade Wilson made it an easy decision for Marvel Studios to continue the Deadpool franchise after Disney's acquisition of 20th Century. It did not take too long for Deadpool 3 to be announced as an R-rated movie that will see the Merc with a mouth join the MCU. Paul Wernick and Rhett Reese are now doing press for Netflix's Spiderhead, which they wrote, and spoke to Post-Cred Pod about the film and upcoming projects, including Deadpool 3. The podcast asked the writers for some information about the threequel, and while they could not say much about the direction Wade Wilson's story is taking, they teased some plot details. Reese described Deadpool 3's MCU story as a fish-out-of-water adventure centered around a lunatic. The fish-out-of-water tease for Deadpool 3's story reaffirms that the movie will bring Wade Wilson to the main MCU timeline. Deadpool is the lunatic described by the writers, and his very different tone and personality are undoubtedly different from what Marvel has done to this point. It sounds like the contrast between Deadpool and the MCU is precisely what Deadpool 3 will have fun playing with. Since Deadpool has the ability to break the fourth wall, switching universes opens the door for him to make plenty of jokes. The writers even joked later in the interview that they might slip in some Morbius meme references. After this Deadpool 3 MCU story tease, it will be fascinating to see how the movie and Wade Wilson handle this transition. Reynolds has already suggested that some of the characters from the Deadpool franchise could return. However, part of the fun of Deadpool joining the MCU is his ability to cross over with characters who otherwise would not be on the table. Fans still want Hugh Jackman's Wolverine to appear, but Chris Hemsworth's Thor, Paul Rudd's Ant-Man, and more could also make appearances in Deadpool 3. It sounds like the writers are excited about how the story is shaping up so far. Warner Brothers has released a synopsis for the film that gives a clearer understanding of how the movie will fit into the world of Mad Max. In Fury Road, it's revealed that Furiosa came from the green place of many mothers, but it's simply stated that she was taken, eventually ending up as an imperator for Immortan Joe. In Furiosa, it appears the character will be put in a war between two warring factions, Immortan Joe and the warlord Dementis. Warner Brothers' plans for the DCEU moving forward reportedly do not involve the Flash star Ezra Miller. After multiple delays and creative shakeups, The Flash is finally set to arrive in theaters on June 23, 2023. The film sees Ezra Miller reprising the role of Barry Allen from Justice League, and will be joined by Sasha Calle as Supergirl, and Michael Keaton making his grand return as Batman 31 years after his last appearance in Batman Returns. However, Miller has been at the center of a number of troubling headlines in the past few weeks. Miller was arrested in Hawaii twice in 2022 with charges of second-degree assault. More headlines have surfaced since then. While Warner Brothers still has over a year until the release of The Flash, they reportedly already have begun discussing the future of the franchise, and it is not looking good for Miller. In a recent report by Deadline, insiders say that the studio has tried getting help for Miller, But as the headlines continue to pile up, it appears that Miller does not fit in with Warner Bros. Discovery CEO David Zaslav's plans for the DCEU. Regardless of how the current situation with Miller turns out, it appears that they have no future in the DCEU. Warner Bros. Originally had no plans to recast Miller in The Flash, yet as more headlines build up, the future of the entire franchise might be at stake. What Warner Bros. Will do with The Flash remains to be seen, but if the studio does recast the role of Barry Allen, they could reshoot the movie's ending and use the film's multiverse plot to explain the change in performer. With the Infinity Saga now in the past, Marvel Studios is currently in Phase 4 of its cinematic universe. Fans can be reassured that the newest phase for the franchise is still heading into a larger story in the future, after recent comments from Marvel Studio President Kevin Feige. In an interview with Total Film, Feige said, "As we're nearing the end of Phase 4, I think people will start to see where this next saga is going." Feige has a history of introducing the future of the MCU in big ways. While it remains unknown when exactly Phase 5's slate will be announced, Marvel is expected to have a presence at upcoming events, such as Comic-Con this July and D23 Expo this September. It's understandable for fans to assume that these announcements are now right around the corner. Phase 4 began the integration of television as part of Marvel's overarching story, with the debut of various series on Disney+, such as WandaVision, which heavily tied into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. With the inclusion of television into the franchise, Marvel now has the chance to tell even larger overarching stories for the future. Then Feige said, "I think there have been many clues already that are at least apparent to me of where this whole saga is going. But we'll be a little more direct about that in the coming months to set a plan, so audiences who want to see the bigger picture can see a tiny bit more of the roadmap." Several Phase 4 projects have already teased small bits of what could potentially be a larger story for the franchise's future. The introduction of Kong the Conqueror in the first season of Loki, who will make his film debut in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, have already teased the concept of the multiversal war, which could be the direction the MCU is going. Outside any potential announcements by Feige, more details for Marvel's future are expected to be teased in upcoming projects this year, such as Thor: Love and Thunder, which hits theaters on July 8th, and Black Panther: Wakanda Forever on November 11th. Films for fans to look out for next year include Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 on May 5th, 2023, and The Marvels, which will include Ms. Marvel's film debut on July 28th, 2023. Other films with no set release include Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.